Proposals can go wrong, as much as they can go right, but today's proposal includes a plastic ring, alcohol, and many regrets. G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn of the Barbie, and get ready for this wild story. Let's go. Am I the asshole for proposing to my girlfriend with a plastic ring as a joke? So, for context, I'm 35 male and girlfriend is 30 female. We've been together for 5 years. She has made it known for the past at least 3 years that she wants to get married. I always tell her to wait and see. It'll happen one day. So last night I was out with a few buddies and got a little tipsy. While I was out, we went on arcade machines for fun. I won a stupid plastic ring. In my tipsy state, I was like, you know what would be a great idea? If I pretended to propose to my girlfriend with this. Cue my buddies laughing and agreeing. So I got home after midnight and I woke my girlfriend up, which is shameful in itself, I know, and I told her to get out of bed quick in an urgent tone. She was worried and asking what was wrong. I told her to sit on the edge of the bed. I then went down on one knee and presented her with the crappy ring and asked, "Will you marry me?" And then I burst out laughing. I didn't quite get the reaction I expected. She asked me angrily if I was for real and threw a pillow at me. She went into the bathroom, and when I followed her in, she was crying. I was still tipsy and couldn't stop laughing, which is bad, I know. She was crying and saying, "I can't believe you find this funny, and you know how much this means to me to get married. You take that special moment away by getting on your knee as a joke." I, stupidly, asked her how does she know it's a joke. She said, "It better be with that ring." And I told her she's right, that it is a joke, but she's way over the top right now. I then get into bed and I sleep. Today has been her crying off and on about me making a mockery of her and our relationship. I've said I'm sorry until I'm blue in the face, but a big part of me thinks she's also overreacting and it's childish. The ironic thing is I do plan to propose to her for real soon. But damn, I feel like this is something she needs to get over. Or am I just an ass? I think you're just an ass in this situation, OP. I think you shouldn't have listened to your drunk and tipsy self and not go through with something like this. You have obviously hurt her. I don't know if you've given sincere apologies, and it doesn't sound like you have. I think you need to grovel and do your best to salvage this situation because that was a real dick move. Definitely you're the asshole for this one. Now in the comments, David Kane Design says, "You're the asshole. Really bad move. Messing with her emotions and honestly wasting her time." Although, after this long, she's letting her time get wasted. I mean, he's been dangling it over her head for years, according to him. Yeah, because when someone you love tells you what you want to hear, you tend to listen. This guy's been telling her that she needs to wait because it will happen someday, and she has believed him. OP is manipulating her and doesn't seem to be remorseful at all. I hope after this stunt his girlfriend would dump his stupid ass. You're the asshole big time. And I hope she leaves too. The guy is gaslighting her at this point, saying that her feelings aren't valid. Yep, worst parts were from his comments. He seems so confident that she'll still accept his proposal. Imagine if she dumped him. I bet you an ice cream that he'll throw a hissy fit and complains to his narcissistic buddies. You're the asshole. Like, for real? You better hope she doesn't leave you before you propose. She's not overreacting. You made a joke out of her feelings. She's probably crying because she knows what she has to do now. I know if I were her, I would definitely reconsider wanting to marry this person. Biscuit Boy replies, "I didn't even want to get married. I was legit surprised when my husband proposed. And yet, if he had made a joke of it and acted like spending his life with me was a hilarious prank, I'd be out of there the next day. Like, it's one crappy thing not to marry a person to whom you know it's important. Assuming you want to commit to them, it is downright abusive to taunt them with it and mock them for believing you would do it. And that's before you woke her up, laughed in her face, and dismissed her feelings about it. Our next post is by user_throwaway21, titled, Am I the asshole for accidentally upsetting my niece by saying her mum's life would be better if she wasn't born? To summarize, I, 32 female, got into an argument over something ridiculous, and now everyone is mad at me. When my sister, 26 female, was 17, she got pregnant and had a baby girl. Obviously, since she was young, she wasn't exactly ready to raise a kid, but my family did the best we could to help her out. She currently has a stable job and is living with her child and the child's father in their own apartment. The issue is that since she had the baby so young, she never got to really experience her life. I'm child-free and am always enjoying new life experiences, and I know my sister is jealous of me for it. The other day I came over for her daughter's birthday party, and we were talking about her as a baby. At one point we started to argue about how she was raised, and I said, "Don't you ever think your life would have been better if she had never been born?" And it turns out her daughter was in earshot of this, so she heard everything and got really upset. My sister got defensive and said that her child was the best thing to ever happen to her, and called me an asshole and kicked me out of the party. She blocked my number and won't talk to me at all now. My mum is saying I should apologize, but my dad agrees with me on this, and says my sister was overreacting. Maybe I was a bit too aggressive when I said it, but I know what I said is true. Am I the asshole for what I did? In my opinion, OP, I think there is a time and place for everything, and this was neither the time nor the place to say something like that. I think you were too aggressive about what you said. And if you ever were going to say that, you definitely should have checked that the child was in the room, yet you didn't even do that. Really, go have a big sit down and a think about your actions, why you do these things, and why you hurt people the way you do. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if she wants to take that decision back. I don't know if she would want to make that change. She has made her choice. She kept the child and she is raising the child. And yet here you are rubbing your life in her face. Your actions are not those of an empathetic person, so I'm gonna have to say you're the asshole. Now in the comments, Anxious Tension 9567 says, "You are such an asshole, it is not even a debate. Nobody gives an F about your child-free status or how you're a narcissist who thinks that your sister is jealous of you. That's her child that she chose to raise. She loves her child more than you and always will, and your role as sister and aunt is either to support them or leave them the F alone. You should apologize, but I hope she doesn't accept it. You view her daughter as an inconvenience, and I personally wouldn't allow you anywhere near my kid if you were my sister and had that selfish viewpoint. And one other thing I'd like to point out is that the only person who sounds jealous here is you. Jealous and petty and cruel. Your sister is living the best life she can with everything the world gave her, and you're disparaging her privately and publicly because it doesn't fit your ideal? Sounds to me like your sister turns lemons into lemonade, in the form of a beautiful child and a successful life, and you're the sour one. OP is definitely the jealous one. Her sister has a child, a job, and a family. OP is projecting. Assuming her sister is jealous because OP is child-free and enjoying new life experiences, even double down on it because she knows what she's saying is true. Even in her response to the bot, all she says is that she should have waited until her niece was out of earshot to say it. OP is bitter. Having a kid doesn't mean you don't get to experience life. That is such an ugly attitude. I hope her sister keeps her blocked and keeps her away from her daughter. She obviously has some type of resentment towards this child. You're the asshole. Holy crap, I was eager to read this, thinking, come on now. Let's find out what the context is before jumping to a conclusion. But nope. You 100% are a certified grade A worst of the worst asshole. It was the kid's birthday party. The kid's birthday party. Even if the kid wasn't within earshot, that is not okay to say. I would suggest you apologize, but part of me thinks your sister and her family is better off with no contact from you. I agree with all of this. Why was OP even arguing about how her niece was raised at the child's birthday party? It's so inappropriate. You're the asshole, OP. So much so that I'm shocked that you even had to ask. The other part that shocks me is that her father saw nothing wrong with her statement. Something something apple, something something tree. Perhaps your sister's life would have been better if you weren't born. Unexposed is by user Roommate Moving Out. Titled, Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that his daughter can't have her own room in our house? So my boyfriend, 30 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for 2 years. We just bought our first house together, and we move in at the end of the month. My boyfriend has a 4-year-old daughter, Kate, from a previous relationship. I love Kate with all my heart. She lives with my boyfriend's ex and comes with us for short stays and sleepovers, more often in the summertime. Our new house is about a 30-minute drive from Kate's mum's house. It has 3 bedrooms, a master bedroom, and 2 smaller bedrooms. We are converting one of the rooms to be an office for my boyfriend and me to work from. That leaves just 1 spare bedroom. Kate was really nervous about us moving so far away, and my boyfriend has reassured her that she will still get to visit all the time, and she'll have her own bedroom waiting for her whenever she wants. My issue with this is that I don't want Kate to treat the only spare bedroom as her personal bedroom. Rather, I want it to be thought of as a guest bedroom. Of course, Kate can stay there whenever she wants to. This isn't part of the debate. I want her to feel welcome all the time, but I don't want it to be only her room. I don't want it to be filled with her toys and clothes, so nobody else feels comfortable to sleep in there. I don't think it's fair that a room is reserved for someone who is not there 90% of the time. In addition, my boyfriend and I are planning to have a child of our own, and I want to make sure that when that happens, we have space for them to live. I can only imagine the circus in a few years if we have to tell Kate that we're taking away her room to give to her new sibling. That's why I want to set expectations now, that Kate is always welcome, but she will be welcome as a guest. My boyfriend thinks I'm being unreasonable, that Kate needs her own room for stability, and especially as she feels we're moving away from her. He says we can keep a pull-out sofa in our office for guests to stay on, and call the spare room Kate's room. I still don't think it's fair to have a room just for Kate when she won't use it very often, and I think it's reasonable to be worried at the prospect of eventually giving Kate's room away to a future child. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I feel like I might be an asshole for telling my boyfriend that his 4-year-old daughter can't have her own room in our new house. So that room is good enough for your own kid, but it's not good enough for his 4-year-old. I get that she's not going to be living there for 90% of the time, but that's no way to treat a 4-year-old in this situation. I don't even think it'd be the right way to treat a 15-year-old. You're just setting the precedent that, yeah, you're welcome here, but you're not really welcome here. You're not really part of this household. You don't really have your own space when you come here. That's not something to tell a 4-year-old. What's wrong with you? You're definitely the asshole in this situation. Now in the comments, Sage and Rage says, "You're the asshole. She is a member of the family and deserves her own space. And how did you not have this conversation before buying the house? Isn't how many rooms and what they'll be used for one of the first things discussed before looking at homes to buy?" And OP says she's not okay having a room for someone that is not there 90% of the time, but wants instead a guest bedroom. Like, how often do you receive guests? More often than your boyfriend has his own daughter over? I'm surprised. Right? OP shouldn't be dating a man with a 4-year-old daughter if she isn't going to treat his daughter like immediate family. The part about treating her as a guest and not family became real clear. This woman does not plan on including her in future family plans. Cruel. The jealous stepmom posts on this sub are so toxic and sad. Also, she's more concerned about the possible future kids than the current real kid. It's clear she doesn't consider Kate to be her real daughter. If OP is moving in with Kate's father and they're planning a future, Kate is her daughter and needs to be treated like it. And as to the future kid, if you do have a kid, you don't take Kate's room. You give up the office because when you have a kid, you have to make sacrifices. I don't think you understand the concept or what it requires to be a parent if you can't understand how Kate would feel. You're the asshole. Android Queen says, "You're the asshole. I'm not surprised that you didn't discuss this beforehand, because it would be obvious to anyone with a heart that a 4-year-old is not a guest in her father's house. It is her other home. Of course she gets a room there. Seriously, you should go apologize profusely to your boyfriend and his daughter, if you've already spoken to her about this. I love how she brings up that someday she plans to have a child, but doesn't consider how awkward it would be that stepdaughter can't have a room in the house, but her new child can. Her imaginary child doesn't even exist, and she's already showing her crappy mother skills. You're the asshole. 100% this. That child should never, ever feel secondary to her half-siblings. She's a member of the family, not a pet. If you have another baby and don't have another room, you either share bedrooms or you find a bigger place. Same as you would for non-stepchildren. This would be the case even if the daughter were a teenager and could understand it better. It's more about showing the kid that they're valued and loved in your home. Not only is it an asshole move to the daughter, but to her boyfriend. To have such little regard for his daughter? To possibly put his relationship with her in jeopardy? Jesus Christ. You don't want a stepchild and aren't prepared to love one like your own. Don't date people with children. Good parents always do what they can to make their house feel like home. I'm an adult and my parents don't even make me feel like a guest when I come over. Can't imagine being treated like a guest at only 4. And our next post is by user InevitableBug884. Titled, Am I the asshole for telling a younger female coworker that it doesn't look good for her to be spending so much time with our married male coworker? So I, 44 female, work in an office of 20 plus people. The youngest is Jenny, 28 female, who started to work for us this year. Jenny immediately clicked with our coworker Dan, 47 male, and became close with him, even though they work on different floors. Dan is married, Jenny is single. For the past months, I've heard other people in the office gossip about Dan and Jenny, who always leave the office to have lunch together outside. Most of us bring our own lunch and eat in the pantry, and Dan and Jenny both used to do this too. Now they're usually gone for an hour or two. Jenny always asks me if I want her to grab a coffee for me when they leave, so I assume they eat lunch and have coffee after. But some of my coworkers wonder if this is all that is happening. This week, Dan was on leave, and Jenny stayed in the office for lunch. So I took the opportunity to tell her that it doesn't look good for her to be spending this much time with Dan, as it makes people wonder if there's something going on between them. Jenny was upset and asked if people wonder about that, or if I wonder about that. So I told her the truth that I've heard other people gossiping. She said she feels insulted that I even needed to tell her this because it means I believe it might be true. For the record, I don't think there is anything going on between Jenny and Dan, but I understand how it might look that way, and I only told Jenny to look out for her so she could do something about it if she wanted to. Am I the asshole? Now in the comments, Spot Rosa says, You're the asshole and so are the gossiping co-workers. Why would you tell her that it doesn't look good for her? He's the one that is married. This was my thought too. As OP stated, she's single. He's the one with a commitment to uphold. Yup. Instead, the young single girl is the one to blame. How dare she come into work single and free to talk to whoever she wants? Yet if it was lunch with an older woman, nobody would bat an eye. I think it would depend on the older woman. Bottom line, OP doesn't think she's having an affair, but if someone told this dude's wife that he'd developed a new habit of leaving the office for lunch with another woman, no age need be mentioned at this point, she might have a question or two. Second, whether we like it or not, gossipy co-workers are talking, and OP did Jenny a favor letting her know crap is in the air. I would certainly like to know if people were talking about me. Why does it depend at all? Two people who get along exceptionally well in the workplace, what difference does age or sex or marital status make? Are we not all humans capable of making friends? And is it so hard to believe that friendship doesn't include sex? Do you sleep with all friends of the opposite sex? If OP wants to help this girl, then shut down the gossiping. People in the workplace need to focus on their own work, lives, and problems. Especially since these attitudes screw other women over in a lot of industries. I've had male bosses who tried not to be alone with younger female engineers, and it just means the younger women aren't getting to go to the lunches and golf outings that the younger guys go to, which hurts their careers. Tinya Jummer says, "So you talked to the person in the situation with the least power and the most to lose, the young woman. It doesn't sound like you've requested the co-workers to stop gossiping. You haven't gone to HR about the gossiper's unprofessional behavior, and you haven't looked into whether Dan might be abusing his power and position. You told the new, young hire that she's doing something that others perceive as wrong. This is the epitome of systematic sexism in the work world. You should feel guilty for participating in it. You're the asshole." I think the people voting otherwise are missing those points in their judgment. It's not even about her letting Jenny know what's happening. It's mostly in how she did that. Exactly. And she's not just letting Jenny know what's happening. She's saying, this is what other people are saying, and therefore, you should stop. She's missing as well that even if Jenny stops hanging out with him, her co-workers will not stop gossiping. That ship has sailed. The only way to shut them down now is to show solidarity with the pair and stand with them and saying in all likelihood, nothing is going on. And you're the asshole. You chose to say something to her but not to him? Why? Why wouldn't you warn him especially since you've known him longer? Why is it anyone's business? Spoiler alert, men and women can be platonic friends. Anyway guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you did like it, tell me what you thought about it down in the comments below, and make sure to just interact with everyone in this community. I love each and every one of you that I get to see on a daily basis. And don't forget, if you are a Patreon subscriber, I love you. You're on the screen right now with the YouTube members as well. If you see yourself, give yourself a pat in the back. You guys help me continue this YouTube journey. You keep me going. I see you guys everywhere. I see your messages, and thank you so much for supporting me. I really love every single one of you. But with that all said, I'm going to be signing off now, guys. I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.